All right, y'all, we are back with another video. Before we start, please put prayers for Donald Trump in the comment section. We must protect President Trump at all times. And it brings me to this, well, you know, ABC has been in hot water lately. We already know that they rigged the debate for Kamala Harris, trying to make her look good. That's why she felt so confident. And we come to find out she had already had the debate questions ahead of time, so she already knew where her answer was going to be to the questions and stuff. That's why she was making all those faces towards Donald Trump. And that affidavit proved a lot of stuff. So they even accused even more stuff, like editing her interview of her rambling and stuff like that. So ABC News, and like I said, they gave a dumb, weak response talking about nobody got the questions in advance. You're not going to get away with that. You got to be more specific. They tried their best, which they tried to cheat Donald Trump, and he still went in there and won. It was 3 against 1. Donald Trump, he the one kept getting all the pushback and stuff like that, and they didn't make her follow up on anything. And this woman told a total of 25 lies, with just lying about everything, lying about Charlottesville, lying about J6, talking about Donald Trump said it's gonna be a bloodbath if he don't win. It just all of these lies that they let this woman spew on TV, and they didn't fact check her not one time. And right now, that's why both of them, Kamala Harris and ABC, is in hot water. So without further ado, let's dive straight into it. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. That way you can stay up to date with everything that's going on. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into it.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so things just got a little bit interesting. I mean, it's likely the thumbnail or possibly the title of this video has the word whistleblower within it, so you already know that it's getting spicy, and of course that's exactly what's happening. It might just be as bad as we thought it was. I said in jest, in joking, you know, although kind of also implying that I literally believed that a couple days ago, that Kamala Harris probably had all the questions in the debate given to her ahead of time so she could scurry off down into the basement to prepare for a week. I said this because obviously it wouldn't be so surprising considering in 2016 Donna Brazile gave Hillary Clinton the questions ahead of the debate. We all know this. This is a widely acknowledged and reported fact. So essentially I was saying it in jest but also serious. But now considering the latest report on this story, oh how naive I may have been in my dismissive attitude. We now have a whistleblower drop that suggests that not only was Kamala Harris given the questions in advance, but that allegedly she dictated the questions from the start. Now I have to preface the video by saying this is just an allegation from a whistleblower. Nothing is yet confirmed, but like I said, the situation's getting interesting here. Let's have a conversation about that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so here's the news report.
None of that comes out. Fortunately, we now have a whistleblower, and I'm going to tell you something, Maria. We're gonna do what we can to bring ABC in and have them answer some questions, and as well as have this whistleblower and see what's going on as they're trying to tear down the First Amendment.
I'm glad you mentioned this because Fox News is reaching out to ABC for response to that affidavit and this Bill Ackman post about this whistleblower. We want answers, but Bill Ackman posted this on X about an alleged ABC whistleblower affidavit that says Harris's campaign dictated the debate questions, camera angles, and the fact-checking of Trump at the debate. He writes, quote, "Sadly for the state of truth in media, I expect the whistleblower allegations will be deemed to be true." Ackman also pointed out that ABC News' David Meir and Lindsay Davis have yet to make any statements on the alleged affidavit. He said, quote, "If you are not guilty as alleged, you have no choice but to immediately issue a statement denying the claims, for silence is an admission of complicity." ABC News has already denied allegations of collusion between the presidential debate moderators and the Harris campaign. We know Lindsay Davis is her sorority sister, but they told the Daily Beast last week, absolutely not. Harris was not given any questions before the debate.
That's a lie.
We've reached out to ABC to verify the affidavit and for a statement on these accusations, Congressman, but this affidavit and this whistleblower story is gaining traction.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, absolutely, and as it should. We need to find out what the truth is. And the thing is this: we all saw it. We actually don't need a hearing to know what we saw, but we're going to look to do it so as we can provide some evidence as to how manipulative they are.
The Daily Mail also wrote an article, The Bombshell Claims of ABC Whistleblower, who says Harris got help in the debate. Several bombshell claims were made last week in an unverified document circulating online, purporting to prove close collaboration between ABC News and Kamala Harris's team before her debate with former President Donald Trump. The document is claimed to be a sworn statement penned by a staffer at ABC News. It was first published on Sunday by an X account with the name of Black Insurrectionist. The document, said to be a sworn affidavit, signed by a notary public the day before the debate, says the network gave Harris questions ahead of time while agreeing to a series of other preconditions to give the vice president an advantage over Trump. Also prohibited at the debate were inquiries about Harris's stint as California Attorney General, as well as those involving her brother-in-law, Tony West. The document shows and includes several other stipulations, as well as redactions obscuring the supposed staffer's identity. So we have the actual affidavit. Here's the really important, meat of it all. The Harris campaign received particular accommodations, including, but not limited to, the providing of a podium significantly smaller than that used by Donald Trump, and assurances regarding split-screen television views that would favorably impact Kamala Harris's appearance relative to Donald Trump. This I 100% believe, and I noted this on the night of. If you look at the camera angles, it's very subtle, but during the double headshots, Kamala Harris was always placed slightly above Donald Trump. Her head was just slightly higher on the camera shot, giving her this impressive stance. The reality...
Yeah, and this woman is short. This woman is like, 5'2"? Donald Trump probably like 6'2", 6'3", but they making her look like she's way bigger than him and stuff like that. Pause. But at the same time, we already know for a fact that the stuff that was written in the affidavit, to me, it's pretty much true, because if you look at what it say, she got the advantage. That was her sorority sister. So that means pretty much whatever Kamala Harris said, that she wasn't going to give any pushback on it. She was going to let her spew that. When they first asked Kamala Harris, are we better off now than we was 4 years ago? And Kamala gave this long, drawn-out answer talking about her growing up, her mom, people, lawn being green. And she didn't even answer the question, and they went straight to Donald Trump. I said, oh, yeah, the fix is in. The fix is in. This woman did not answer that question, are we better off now than we was 4 years ago? She danced around it. And guess what Kamala Harris did in her next sit-down interview? She said the same thing she said in the debate, gave the same answer. What she do at the NABJ, her last interview she just did, she gave the same answer again. See, ABC ain't being they ain't really coming out trying to answer these questions. They just trying to put something out there. No, we didn't give her the debate question. No. Why hasn't Lindsey Davis and David Muir came out and said anything? Why is everybody so quiet? Why hasn't anybody in them interviews asked Kamala Harris about this ABC news thing? Why haven't nobody asked Kamala Harris, say, hey, Kamala, Miss Madam VP, did y'all cheat Donald Trump at the ABC? Did you get the questions in advance? Why haven't nobody asked Kamala Harris this? You know why? Because she only go to the leftist networks if she come to Fox News where it's fair play, or she answer questions from reporters, they're going to ask her about it. So she pretty much had the lead in this about, you can't ask me this, you cannot ask me this. And that's what we seen in this affidavit, that Kamala Harris already knew what questions was going to be asked towards her, and she already had the answer for it. So she pretty much kind of, pasted herself about, you can't ask me about Joe Biden. How come if Kamala Harris is in this debate against Trump, how do the moderators not ask her about Joe Biden? How long did you know Joe Biden was incompetent? That you knew he wasn't no good? They could have asked something about Joe Biden. Didn't ask anything. Nothing. So that's why I say halfway through, I knew the fix was in, and I don't care what they say. This right here was a rigged debate, and I don't blame Donald Trump. I would not do a third debate. For what? To give her another opportunity to cheat? So I agree with Donald Trump. If he do it, it must be on Fox News. That's the reason why Kamala Harris has not accepted the Fox News debate, because Fox News came out and sent paperwork to Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris has still refused to come on Fox News because she's trying to take Donald Trump to another leftist network. So, I mean, come on. So I don't blame Donald Trump. I would not do a third debate. He should just do his rallies and stuff like that and just leave it there. I wouldn't even do it.
He probably should have looked something a little bit more like this. But instead, they fixed it in a different situation because they don't want her to appear small and frail. You know, it's a Hollywood production. I believe this claim absolutely. But let's move on with the affidavit.
I do too.
Here. It was agreed that Donald Trump would be subjected to fact-checking during the debate while Kamala Harris would not face comparable scrutiny. This was widely known throughout the company that Donald Trump would be fact-checked. In fact, various people were assigned to fact-checked observations that Trump would make during the debate. In fact, the Harris campaign required multiple assurances that Donald Trump would be fact-checked. Now that I certainly believe. I mean, I'm sure we could put together a little clip here that'll put it into perspective instantly.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's
That's a lie.
born.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country.
No.
The question was about you as president, not about former Speaker Pelosi. I did watch all of these pieces of video. I didn't detect the sarcasm, lost by a whisker.
Vice President Harris, he says you hate Israel.
You did bring up something. You said she went to negotiate with Vladimir Putin. Vice President Harris, have you...
Look what they said, Vice President Harris. He said you hate Israel. That is not even a question. Look at that. Vice President, he said you hate Israel. You see how they were trying to like pass her the ball, basically? It's like the fix was in. Why is the moderator helping Kamala Harris? You see what I'm talking about? So if Kamala Harris thought Donald Trump was lying about the answer that he was giving, that was Kamala Harris' job to try to fact check Donald Trump, because they the two going head to head. Why is the moderators putting their 3 cents in and trying to say, I didn't detect sarcasm, no, that right there is a lie? Y'all ain't the one running for president. So when they were fact checking Donald Trump, that affidavit, everything lines up on it. That's the reason why so many people was freaking out over there. They were like, hold on now. This whistleblower cannot be lying, because if you look at his affidavit and we look what happened in that debate, everything lines up. Why is Kamala looking taller than Donald Trump? Why? Why was Donald Trump fact checked 6 to 7 times and Kamala Harris will not fact check at all? Not even one time. Ain't this a conflict of interest when you got your sorority sister up in there knowing she is not finna give you any pushback? We ain't stupid, man. I 100% believe, me personally, believe this whistleblower. And I believe ABC license should be took. They license need to be took. You can't give no little small answer talking about y'all didn't give Kamala Harris the debate questions ahead of time. Ain't nobody falling for that. They just threw anything out there just so people can say, well, ABC did respond. No, that ain't the way you do it.
Have you ever met Vladimir Putin?
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan.
Vice President
stop
Harris,
him.
thank you. President Harris, thank you.
And again, let me remind you that this affidavit allegedly was dated and signed on September 9th, 2024, and signed by a notary. So supposedly this ABC whistleblower said all of this before it actually happened. Then, well, it actually happened. And of course, the damning and shocking element of it all.
See, that what made people believe it. Because now, if this affidavit was signed and stamped, afterwards would have been like, whoa, hold on now. I don't know about that. But this right here was signed the day before the debate is what make people believe it. It was notarized then. So it's like, whoa, this whistleblower have to be telling the truth, because everything on that paper lining up, making her look bigger than him when she's 5'2". Donald Trump like 6'2", 6'3". I mean, the fix was in, but you're going to get people on the left trying to like say something about it. But at the same time, I'm just kind of looking at like, why haven't nobody asked Kamala Harris about this yet? Why haven't nobody asked her about this? You know why? Because she's running from reporters and she know they're going to ask her.
It all happened on behalf of the Harris campaign, allegedly. And that continues to be the trend here. The Harris campaign was supposedly provided with sample questions that were not the exact questions, but covered similar topics that would appear during the debate. So essentially, they gave the questions ahead of time, and then it gets even deeper. Furthermore, the Harris campaign imposed restrictions on the scope of questioning, including no questions regarding the perceived health of President Joe Biden. And that's like the biggest issue. And notice ABC didn't ask a single question. No inquiries related to her tenure as Attorney General in San Francisco. In other words, the stuff that took her down back in 2020.
Yep. Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California.
Yeah, that's totally off limits now, isn't it? And really, in hindsight, not a single question. Nope. ABC News, really highlights the hypocrisy and the bias. No questions concerning her brother-in-law, Tony West, who faces allegations of embezzling billions of dollars in taxpayer funds and who may be involved in her administration if elected. And then the rest of the affidavit just goes on and on about the internal media bias against Donald Trump. And so that's pretty much the meat of it. ABC News, of course, is addressing the whistleblower, saying it's fake news, never actually happened. But I'm thinking, regardless of whether or not it's actually true, it is technically still true, because all of this is what happened. Avoiding important issues, some of the most discussed topics in the political sphere, something that's widely viewed as one of Kamala Harris's weakest points, the idea that she's Joe Biden's vice president, and she sat for the last 4 years, essentially lying to the American people that Joe Biden was okay when he wasn't. But ABC News never covered it. They spent the whole night attacking Donald Trump and didn't go into anything that's even slightly controversial relating to Kamala Harris. So whether this whistleblower allegation is true or not, whether this guy actually worked for ABC News, the actual content of it is true. Now the only thing left to find out is whether the allegation that Kamala Harris's campaign was behind it all, orchestrating this whole thing. That's where it gets interesting. ABC News is going to say, oh, it's fake news. The left is going to say, oh, it's fake news. But I'm saying, let's wait for more information. Maybe we'll find out who the actual individual is. I think there's already a GOP congressional inquiry on the subject, so we'll probably get to the bottom of this. I'm not going to instantly dismiss it. I think it's quite believable. If an actual legitimate notary signed on to this as a September 9th affidavit, then that makes it even more interesting. Let's see how deep the rabbit hole goes, I guess. And let's of course see how ABC continues to defend itself. Let's just say David Muir's defense isn't exactly holding up as of yet.
I will say this about the debate. You guys know me better than anyone.
Look at this
I
liar.
basically disappeared for the end of the summer because of the weight of this debate. You take it seriously, Lindsay and I, and this extraordinary small team we have at ABC. And we spent a lot of time, and I believe it was our duty to ask the issues that Americans care about. You didn't ask that. You did not ask the question. What y'all did was help Kamala Harris. You didn't ask her anything about her time as AG in California. You didn't ask her anything about Joe Biden. And that's even more bigger because she took Joe Biden's spot. So why not even ask her any questions about his health, how long she knew about it? How can you not ask those type of questions? You know what y'all referred to? Asking Donald Trump about J6 and talking about questioning the man when he said it was sarcasm. And you're trying to say you didn't detect it. Like it was just so much crazy stuff that they were asking Donald Trump about, like asking about January 6th when he said Nancy Pelosi is on tape admitting it was her fault. Then he tell Donald Trump, President Trump, we ain't talking about Nancy Pelosi. What? So you can ask Donald Trump about all of that, but you can't ask Kamala Harris about Joe Biden. You can't ask her about why she's flip-flopping on everything. You didn't ask her any of that. And when she did talk, it was just word salad. She was just talking around the question, and not one time did y'all push back on it. Y'all pushed back on almost everything Donald Trump said, trying to stop him from talking and all of that. Like, come on, man. Even when the man said he had got shot, you cut him off. Didn't even want to hear about it. And he's sitting on this show lying. Economy, are we better off than we were 4 years ago?
And she didn't answer.
What are you going to do about the border? Why did you wait so long before you acted on the border? Those types of questions. Reproductive rights, Afghanistan, do you bear any responsibility? Peaceful transfer of power with the next election coming. These are all really important issues. The issues of our time, really. And I always say as a moderator, what the candidates decide to do with that time, you can ask the questions, but they'll answer with whatever they choose to answer with.
That's right.
And you have to be ready for whatever might come your way, even the most unexpected of moments. As you all know, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And I will say this. All of the noise that you hear afterward about, which candidate won the debate, did the moderators win or lose, that's just noise. You all know that.
Wow.
The most important thing to remember is that you all have the power. Everybody at home has the power.
Wow.
Almost a sociopathic response. Yeah, all the talk of our corruption and everything we did and all the moderators ganging up on one candidate. Yeah, that's just noise. Just ignore all that noise. We know how this is done because we're the professionals. I mean, give me a freaking break. With this, you guys all have the power nonsense. Yeah, we could be as corrupt as we want, but you guys at the end of the day still go out and vote. Just ignore the fact that we're manipulating droves of uneducated, susceptible people. Just ignore all that noise.
Just
what
crazy.
a joke. We got to get to the bottom of this because these debates are becoming a global laughingstock. And now we've got Democrats unwilling to do debates on networks that, frankly, they probably don't control. It's an absolute mockery. And if what's being alleged is happening, well, it simply shouldn't be allowed to stand. So I guess we'll see what happens. But that's pretty much what I got for you guys.
Right. Salute to Liberal High Mind. Make sure y'all go over to his channel, go subscribe to him. Does a great job over there. And I'm still sticking to what I said. I believe everything on that affidavit because if you look at it, it was signed the day before the debate. So it ain't like this whistleblower did it afterwards. But everything on that paper, on that affidavit, it shows everything that they did. Kamala Harris, they got her look like she's taller than Donald Trump. When this woman is 5'2", I mean, come on. Didn't give any pushback. They let her run with these conspiracy theories and lying, he was talking about a bloodbath when they knew he was talking about the auto industry. I mean, it was just that type of stuff. I'm like, is they going to say something to her? Is they going to give any pushback on Kamala Harris? So that's why when it went to that first interview, I went off on the microphone because I was literally live streaming. And I was like, oh, I see what they doing here. They trying to make Kamala Harris look good. That's why when she left that debate, you got dummies like Stephen A. and all them. Kamala won. Won what? She didn't even answer any questions. Every question they asked her, she danced around it. What did she win? And you know why she was so sharp? Because she already had the debate questions. She already knew what they was going to ask. She didn't have to think about anything. And when she gave word salad, there was no pushback. They only pushed back on Donald Trump, and they seen that. But yet they still running around talking about Kamala won. She won, right. But yet the Teamsters Union endorsed Donald Trump pretty much. 59% to her 33%. We'll take that. So like I said, y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this. If I'm pretty sure more news is going to come out on this, and I'm going to come right back and spill it. All right. So thank you all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.